Hi, this is Momma Storm. I did a video earlier today, Mama's Wisdom number one, regarding trauma that's not transformed gets transferred. A few people have been having some reactions to it, so I felt sort of a burden before going to bed tonight just to say that feelings of shame or judgment or fear that somehow, and this, most of the reaction actually came from parents, mothers, especially Mama Storms. We just carry so much cement bags on our shoulders, right? So much cement bags of guilt on our shoulders. So a few Mama Storms, I think, have been endorsing feelings of shame and judgment and fear that they've missed the mark in changing the trajectory of their kids' life, and just feeling an immense amount of guilt that they did not do right by their children. And the thought that came to me as a clinician and as a mama of an older child, and I'm raising, I got the opportunity to do motherhood all over again. And mothering in my 20s was certainly very different from mothering in my 30s, late 30s, and no, in my 40s. And so, through the years, you learn some wisdom. And all I can say to the moms, like, I can't tell you not to feel what you're feeling. But what I am going to encourage you to do is to just find some compassion for self. Find compassion for who you were at the time when you were parenting. Remember, we can't pour from an empty cup, right? Depending on what, nobody transformed your life, right? And our parents were always doing the best they could as well. So this is not a shaming or blaming thing on parents. All it is just encouraging us to just take stock of where we are and what we can do in our own silos to intentionally change the trajectory of our life. And if it is that your kids are grown and you have missed that opportunity to put your fingerprints on them, you can choose to be the love and light in this world, right? We can apologize to our kids. Remember, apologizing to our kids, vulnerability is a strength. And us walking into our new self. God's mercies are new every day. And so we get to transform every single day. You apologize to your kids for not knowing what you didn't know. God knows I've had to apologize to my oldest daughter so many times. And I, though, had to find forgiveness for myself. And I encourage everyone on the sound of my voice to be able to forgive themselves as well, too, for missteps. When my inner critic speaks the loudest, what it tells me is that you're going to screw your kids up, right? So I think we all go through times when we feel really punishing towards ourselves. But tonight, I just want to encourage people to give themselves a little bit of self compassion, because I'm pretty sure, as bad as you might think it is, you did better than the generation before you. And in that way, hopefully, your kids will take up their own baton. Thank God for good therapy, including Freedom Happy Counseling, where people can work through their developmental trauma, their intergenerational trauma, or whatever trauma they were presented with. And I'm not making light of what our kids may have experienced with us as when we were put in charge of being their guardrails. But if your child is an adult, then no, they get the beautiful opportunity to do the hard work of changing, right? But they have to have an awareness that something needs to change. All right, so this is Mama's Wisdom 1B. Trauma that remains unhealed becomes infected. So if you're feeling like you're not healed from your own trauma, your job is to heal that so that you can pour out better. You can apologize. You can be vulnerable. You can have the requisite self compassion and kindness for your past self that made the best decision that you could at the time. With the resources that you have different resources right now, so you can show up differently. And even if you don't get the opportunity to show up differently to your own kids, then perhaps you can do that for somebody else, and that's your way of giving back as well. Hopefully this kind of helps someone. As I said, I just felt a little bit of burden for other people, because the flip side of it is, what about those people who've already done the raising of their kids and now they're worried about, oh my God, I've totally, missed my opportunity to change the trajectory of my kids' lives. Please be love and light. Please have some self compassion for self. Please stop the judgment, stop the shame. that's just going to hold you back in your own trauma. All right. And feel free to call Freedom Happy Counseling and Coaching, and I'll help you work through it. All right. Good night. Bye.